time to open up tonight's Unsolved case file, and this is the part of the program where we put a spotlight on a case that needs some help. And it needs help because it's starting to get a little bit older. Maybe some of the leads have dried up. Investigators have not been able to figure it out. And you've got victims and their families who are not getting any sense of justice. Tonight's story is about a young nurse, and she's living in Nashville, just at a party or a friend's apartment, and steps outside for a moment and disappears, just disappears. And now 5 years later, we still don't have any answers. Our affiliate, WTVF, has more on the disappearance and death of Ashley Brown.
It's a nightmare.
A nightmare that has lasted for years for friends and family of Ashley Brown.
The whole thing is really hard.
Detectives found Ashley's body at a trash disposal site on Freightliner Drive 4 days after she went missing. Police still haven't made an arrest for her murder.
Not having her there for some of the momentous occasions in your life it's really difficult.
For her dad and stepmom living in Arizona, it's left a scar that neither time nor distance can heal.
Sweet, loving, bubbly, always happy, always friendly.
Smiling and with friends, this was the last picture the 27-year-old surgical technician at St. Thomas West would ever take. Hours later, Ashley was beaten and strangled near Centennial Park. Detectives say she had stepped outside her friend's apartment for a cigarette.
Somebody grabbed her, or she may have wandered off through the parking garage somewhere else where there weren't a lot of cameras at the time, and somebody might have grabbed her down there.
Cold case detective Matt Filter has been working Ashley's case since day one.
There's absolutely nobody that is throwing up red flags right now as far as being a suspect.
There's no helpful surveillance, and her cell phone hasn't led to anything credible. So now they're relying on tips.
Well, somebody out there knows what happened. I mean, there's at least one person.
Ashley's family says time will one day lead to justice.
We know that the person who did this, they will ultimately be judged far beyond what any judge on this earth can do.
All right, folks, there's the phone number, 615-742-7463, 615-742-7463, Nashville Crime Stoppers. If you have any information, heard, it could be triple hearsay, doesn't matter. If you have any information whatsoever, give them a call tonight. Let's bring in our special guest joining us to talk about the case. Ashley Brown's best friend, Amy Clack, is with us. Amy, thank you for joining us, and so sorry for the loss of your friend, Ashley. I want to start, though, because the facts are very sparse here, and I want to talk about some of the facts. Maybe it'll help someone who may have seen or heard something. What do you know about what happened the night she disappeared? Where was she? What was she doing? And who was she with?
She had met a new friend at work, and that friend invited her to go out, look at Christmas lights that evening. And then afterwards, they kind of went, bar hopping and had a little bit of fun, and ended up at her friend's apartment. And then after that, the stories kind of diverge in different directions. It's hard to tell if, she stepped out for a cigarette. Did something else happen? Did she make it back to the apartment? After she made it back to the apartment, did she leave trying to get home? There's so many different stories. It's hard to differentiate which one is the true story.
Right. So the people she was with, are you familiar with those folks? Did you know them at all?
I do not know them. She had only met the girl who invited him out that night a few weeks before that, and all the other people that night, that was the first time she had met them.
And have you ever spoken to them? I mean, you're a good friend.
Yeah, I attempted to reach out. There hasn't been any contact back. I know Detective Filter, who's put in just endless amount of hours, has spoken to him, but there hasn't been any contact between them and us as the friend group or the family.
That's a little strange.
Yeah.
Not from your end, but from their end. That you're the ones that are with her, and that last night when she disappears, you would think you would be as invested, if not more invested, in finding an answer and reaching out to her friends and talking about her and talking about what happened that night. To me, that's a little
Right.
strange.
Yeah, I agree. I
So,
agree for sure.
so let's turn this around a little bit and find out a little bit about Ashley, because I never had the opportunity to meet her. She was a surgical technician. My daughter is a surgical technician, so I
yeah.
really admire and appreciate the work that they do day in and day out. So what can you tell us about Ashley?
We both started working as kind of like CNAs in Southern Arizona. And then she took off and did the surgical tech thing, and she was a kind of a traveling surgical technician. Everybody loved working with her. Even in like the toughest of cases, she's funny, and the OR was like her home. She was so comfortable there. And she's just the best kind of person you can think of. She was fun to be around, even if you didn't know her. She's funny. She was sweet. She's caring. She truly was the epitome of the best friend you can think of.
You know, we're looking at a series of photographs that we have, and the smile is something else. I mean, it is.
Yeah.
It is big, and it is right. It is in your face, that smile.
Yeah, that was a permanent fixture on her face, which is definitely nice. Even when you wanted her to be mad, that smile would come out.
Was she the type of person who was very trusting of others?
You know, it's funny that you say that. She was a trusting person, but she was always looking out for herself and her friends. So when I never got a call from her, I was surprised that she put herself in some kind of situation that she couldn't protect herself. That's very weird for her. She was always there, the protector of everybody in the group, including herself.
So at this point, where do you think investigators are? Are they kind of at a dead end right now, waiting for help from the public, waiting for someone to come forward with some additional information?
Yeah, it's at a standstill right now. The trauma that she endured, there has to be people who know about this. If anybody knew anything, even the smallest thing can kind of tip investigators in the right direction and help us find justice for her, but also get somebody off the street who has the potential to do this to somebody else. And if somebody just comes forward and says even the smallest thing, I saw her that night, this is how she's acting, this is how I heard she was acting, this is what I heard through a friend of a friend of a friend, anything could tip something in the right direction and really help us find who did this.
How's her family holding up?
They start going through the grieving process, and then once we realize that we haven't gotten justice for her, we're kind of ripped back right to the beginning of the grieving process again. So it's hard.
Before we finish up tonight, I want you to tell us, give me one story that really encapsulates Ashley, so everyone understands what you're missing and what the community is missing with her death, and maybe it will have someone think differently about the information that they have. So tell me something, some story, some little thing that you think really captures Ashley Brown.
When we were a little bit younger, we had a group of friends we hung out with, and there was about 15 of us. And everybody seemed to be having a little bit of a rough week, and Ashley forced all of us out to have some fun. And we showed up to a little like a little brewery, and she brought kitty cat ears for everybody to wear, and funny glasses for everybody to wear, and necklaces for everybody to wear. And her goal was just to make everybody happy and everybody have a good time. And we ate some dinner, and then we went back to one of our parents' houses, and we just sat around and hung out, played games, and it just turned everybody's year around, it felt like everybody just kind of seemed to be spiraling, and she just kind of brought everybody back up again.
Now I know why she became a surgical technician too. Amy
Yeah,
Clack,
she's a lover.
thank you so much. We've posted the
Thank
story.
you.
We're asking people to share it, and we'll stay on the story. We're not going to do one and done. We will stay on
Great.
this until there is justice for Ashley Brown and her family and her great friends like you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.